So today we're going to be talking about CertaPro, Paya, and STARSHIP integrated e-commerce payments and shipping. And the speakers that have joined us today, I'm so pleased to have Raphael Avestan. He's the account executive over at CertaPro. Nick Young, he's the senior ERP consultant. He's going to take us through a brief demonstration of the e-commerce interface with Sage 100 fully integrated e-commerce solution. Brandy Wilson, she's the senior ERP product manager over at Paya. And Matt St. John, account executive over at STARSHIP. A little bit about the companies here. CertaPro is based in Los Angeles. They're a leader in integrating the Magento solution with Sage 100, which is now has been acquired by Adobe. CertaPro's Magento integration is powered by eLink, a two-way connector that handles all connection points for business partner portals and other B2B, B2C e-commerce needs. As a Magento technology partner, CertaPro has a team of Sage certified developers, consultants, technicians, CPAs, and software programmers that leverage over 20 years of expertise. So anything e-commerce related with Sage 100, they're definitely your go-to Sage 100 expert. And Paya, they have been a leader in integrated Sage 100 payments for years. They have a very mature solution with a suite of products. They're a leading provider of integrated payment and frictionless e-commerce solutions. They also have an integration with CertaPro. Paya's foundation is in robust integrations into front-end CRM and back-end accounting systems to enhance customer experience and workflow, accept and make payments, expedite receipt of money, and increase operating efficiencies. They process over 40 billion of annual payment volume across credit, debit card, ACH, and check, making it a top provider of payment processing in the U.S. Paya serves more than 100,000 customers in healthcare, education, nonprofit, government, utilities, and other B2B goods and services. So with all of these very strong relationships, they're able to drastically reduce the cost of credit card processing. And they have a very strong integration with Sage 100. And then Sage 100 shipping, STARSHIP, been around for many, many, many years, leading integrated shipping provider for Sage 100. They were founded in 1987, and they connect your warehouse to your front office. They partner with dozens of parcel and LTL carriers, FedEx, USPS, UPS, OnTrack, DHL, Holland, UPS, YRC, Old Dominion, Pitt, Ohio, dozens of regional carriers. They have one of their flagship integrations for years and years and years started with Sage 100 and Dynamics GP, and then they rolled out integrations with Sage 300, Acumatica, Dynamics 365, Business Central, QuickBooks, SAP Business One, and Epicor. They also have integrations with Amazon, eBay, Magento, and WooCommerce. And a little bit about the workflow today. First, we're going to kick it off with CertaPro. They're going to talk about their integrated e-commerce solution. And then we're going to hand it over to Brandy with Paya. She's going to talk about integrated payments. And then we'll hand it over to Matt with STARSHIP. So I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to Raphael.
Hi there. Thank you, Adrian. Thanks, everyone, for joining. My name is Raphael, and I'm the account executive here at CertaPro, and I'm joined by Nick Young, who's our product manager, and he will be walking us through the technical portion of the demo. I will just briefly start us with an introduction of our company, tell you a little bit about us, our product, and have Nick do the live demo. Due to the time constraints, unfortunately, we won't be able to showcase you the entire functionality, so Nick will do a very high-level demonstration of eLink. So please feel free to reach out to us separately for a one-on-one session. We'll do a tailored live demo and take a deeper dive into your requirements. As Adrian mentioned, we located in LA. We've been in business for over 10 years, and we specialize in integrating as well as building out business partner portals and web stores. We're very Sage-centric. Sage is actually the only platform that we work with since the beginning, and we have a full team of Sage developers. We have a team specifically dedicated for the integration part and a full team of web store and partner portal developers, so we can fully support each side of the solution. We do this for all Sage ERP platforms, but since this is a Sage 100 webinar, we'll showcase this in Sage 100. Currently, we work with Adobe Magento, WooCommerce, and Shopify because we think these platforms provide the best value and functionality for you. And prior to working with CertaPro, our current customers approach us looking for something like Amazon's functionality, but with that B2B and B2C segments, and that's where our product comes in. What we have done is created modules for Sage as well as the e-commerce platforms, which allows us to have a very deep and configurable integration. A lot of functionality can be customized to your requirements. And as you see on the screen, some of the out-of-the-box integration points available with our solution. Again, there's no manual procedures. It's fully automated and will work the way you expect it to. And on that note, I would like to pass the screen controls to Nick and have him do the live demo.
We didn't see anything on your screen, by the way.
But you did great, Raf. It was an excellent verbal illustration. I could see it through the words.
It was perfect, yeah. All right, so like Ralph says, this is a very limited, short demo. So I'm just going to go over the kind of the portal functionality here. The solution is made for B2C and B2B, and it will deal with all of your e-commerce needs from the front end of the store all the way through, the order processing. So in here, in Sage, we add some utilities. So like here, I can go and create a customer account for the web. So I'm going to create this demo account and associate it with the customer. And then when I go into the web, I can actually log in as that account. So that email just became a login inside of the web. And when I log in, I automatically have access to all of my history from Sage for the customer that got associated with the account. So I have my account balance. I can see all of my sales orders and invoices, and then also all of my payment history. We bring all of the transaction history from Sage into the customer's account. So it doesn't matter whether those transactions came from the web or not. So you have like a sales order here that has no web order number. We have a sales order here that has a web order number. It doesn't matter if they placed the order on the web, you're putting the orders directly in Sage, whatever it is. The customer logs into their account, they get their entire history. They can come and print invoices and make payments on their account. So it's a really good way to get your customers to be able to self-service themselves and not have to deal with customer service a lot. I'm gonna go place an order from quick order entry. So you could go through the store and we can, shop and add items to the cart. The quick order entry is more like a PO entry form. We bring all the product information from Sage, product names, descriptions if they're in Sage, pricing comes over. So the pricing comes over as it's configured in Sage. We bring price levels, price groups, contract pricing for the product. Quantity breaks come over also. So if I had quantity breaks set up on these products, based on my actual logged in customer, I'm seeing my actual price as it's calculated inside of Sage. We bring over stock levels. So if you want to show the actual inventory here or in stock and out of stock, you can do that based on your actual Sage inventory levels. And then here are those products. So if we add these to the cart and we go to checkout, we bring all the customer information over from Sage. So when you assign that customer to the login inside the web, all the addresses that you already have associated with that account come into their account on the web too. So they don't have to go retype their shipping addresses if they already have a solution set up with you. And then we add a couple of payment methods to the solution as well. So credit card, so Paya's here. This is a credit card module for Paya. So we do the pre-authorization during the checkout process, and then we'll bring all of the transaction tokens in, all PCI compliant, into the order inside of Sage. And then your actual capture will happen during the invoicing process in Sage based on Paya solutions. So we'll go ahead and place that order. We are using what I'm calling a live syncing system. So if I go look at the account and go back to sales orders where we were earlier, you can see that's in pending orders here. This order gets placed in queued, and then it will attempt to send it in the background. This allows your website to stay up 99.999% of the time, or whatever you have as a contract with your host. All the website will work without needing Sage to be available. Your customers can still go online, they can place orders, they can get invoices, they can make payments, they can do everything that they can do even when Sage is available without Sage being available. As soon as Sage is available in the background, it'll just start syncing. So if you're doing database maintenance, or your internet connection is down at your office, or you're even upgrading Sage, your website still remains functional and working. And so that order will actually move, once it exports to Sage and imports back into the web, will move from pending orders down here to accepted orders. And of course, when I need this to work fast, it's not going to work today, but here you can see that moved. It actually exported that to Sage and then brought back into the web. So this is the order information that's coming from Sage. If in Sage you go and you update pricing or quantities, if you go add products to the order or remove products, that's what's going to be reflected on the customer's portal inside the web. This works regardless of these, what I was talking about is before. We don't care where the information comes from as far as it's coming from Sage. This product isn't even available for order on the web, but they still have that available in their order history here. We can also make payments on account. So here's all of my payment history. Again, we don't care where it came from. This is a check that was sent in and paid an invoice. Customer still sees that on their account. If we go look at this actual invoice in their portal, you would see these payments down there as well. And the customer can go in and they can make a payment. Paya, we can do ACH or credit card here. Customers can select from their open invoices. They can pay multiple invoices at one time. You can allow them to short pay if you want to, so they can pay the invoices the way that they want. You don't have to do any manual entry as far as this payment happens. So this is going to take a $2,400 charge on the credit card, and then this is going to export as a cash receipt, and it will already be applied to those invoices the way that the customer had asked for that to happen. So you don't have to worry about getting a $2,400 payment and trying to figure out how the customer was trying to associate that to their invoices. Again, this is a very high level overview of the functionality. Like if we go into Sage, we can see that order exported into here. We can go and invoice that order, add tracking numbers to that order. So if you're using STARSHIP, they're going to add the tracking numbers back to the invoice. We pull all that information back into the order inside of Magento as well. We bring that web order number over. So if your customer service, customers on the phone with customer service and they only have the web order number that was on their confirmation, customer service can still look up that order by that. You can see that we brought in the credit card transaction. Again, all PCI compliant. This is all coming from the vault, so we're only transferring tokens back and forth. We're not actually transferring credit card information. We're using Sage Business Objects here, so we load all the customer defaults, so all business objects that you have built into this form automatically get applied as well. So if you have validation or anything in your sales order entry, all of that will still work with the orders coming from the web as well. I think that's about as much time as I have to show you, so I'll go ahead and pass this over to the Paya team so they can show you the Paya solution as well. But again, if you need to see more, or if you want a real deep dive demo, please reach out to Ralph to schedule that, and we can show you in much more detail.
Thanks so much, Nick. Quick introduction for everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Brandy Wilson. I am the Sage 100 product manager here at Paya, and I'm super excited to take you through our credit card processing offering. For those of us who aren't familiar with us, here's a quick snapshot of Paya. We really focus on integrated processing experiences for ERP users and making it easier for you as merchants to accept payments from your customers, get funding in a timely manner, and overall just be more efficient in this whole sphere. Many of you know, we actually used to be a part of the Sage as a company, as Sage Payments. We maximize those existing relationships to make sure that we're bringing you the best processing experiences that we can right here within your, particularly Sage 100 ERP. Our recent acquisition from Nuvei opens a lot of doors for us to explore new offerings for our ERP customers, and that's going to include additional services, new payment methods and currencies, and lots of great new products for your ERP, like the Click2Pay that we're going to be reviewing today. Now, just a quick overview of the native processing that we provide in Sage 100. Like Nick said, we have a lot of integrated providers who are using that native processing today to go ahead and process within Sage 100. We are currently the only certified, natively integrated, and distributed credit card processing solution for Sage 100. We have 2 gateways where we can support both card present, so physical swiping, chip reading, or tapping of credit cards, as well as online card not present processing. Those in-transaction screens for payments are available in your accounts receivable invoices, your sales orders and sales invoices, and your cash receipts entry today. We also have an online virtual terminal where transactions can be processed manually, and you can see all of the processed transactions for your account and get the reporting on those. Now, just a quick overview of that native processing. It is a customer-centric credit card vaulting system, meaning that you can enter and store customer credit card information directly within Sage and still be PCI compliant. We communicate everything to the Paya servers, and we encrypt and tokenize that information and allow you to save that onto your Sage 100 customer. At that point, those vaulted credit cards are available for payment processing and accounts receivable and sales order, both manually on a transaction by transaction basis or in batch as you're doing your updates. And that all happens intuitively within your Sage 100 screen. So here is an example. We have a cash receipt screen where we've brought in multiple invoices. We're processing a single payment against those invoices using a credit card token that we had on hand for this particular customer. Now, this is the system that CertaPro is also bringing this information in with to bring that tokenized information onto your sales orders. That's all the exact same process that we're looking at here. Now, when it comes to AR automation, what we want to do for our Sage 100 users is make account management easier for you and your customers. Click2Pay is an integrated payment system that provides you guys with the ability as merchants to give online transaction documents, whether those are AR invoices, sales quotes, sales orders, to your customers via your normal methodologies within Sage 100. We're integrating with Paperless Office to deliver those online links, and we provide a customer portal where customers can manage their own accounts and manage those different payment methods and their payment schedule. We integrate with all of the pieces of Sage 100 that you would expect us to. So if you have a dynamically discounted terms code where you're giving customers an incentivized reason to pay earlier, those will all be integrated into our portal as well, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition real quick into our Sage 100 system and take you through the process of what Click2Pay looks like for Sage 100 AR invoicing. Now, just remember, as we go through this process, the process will be the exact same for sales orders or sales invoices as you're entering through those screens as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new invoice here, and I'm going to select my Click2Pay customer. We're going to sell them a sample today, and let's call that $25. And over on the totals tab, what you're going to see is some new fields that are Click2Pay related. So because this customer is enabled for Click2Pay, this is automatically set to sync. Now, during the course of normal data entry, most people are just going to hit accept and move on to the next invoice, and that's absolutely fine. A Click2Pay document ID and link will be created on that save of this particular invoice. Now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and force this up to Click2Pay right now and click that send to Click2Pay button, just so you can see how quickly we're communicating out to the portal and linking that back. And you can see where my live status link has now updated. I can actually copy that URL, but what most users are going to do is they're going to use Paperless Office to deliver this URL to their customer. This can be done through Sage's native Paperless Office system. So the user will get their normal email that says, here's the new invoice on your account. It's going to have that invoice attached to the email as an attachment, PDF. And they will have a button where they can go ahead and click to pay that invoice online. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this screen over for you guys. So you can see here where we have what we call our anonymous link. This is a one-to-one payment link to the invoice that we just created. This allows customers to click directly from their email and launch this payment window that gives them all the information about this particular invoice. We can drill down and view the invoice itself that is formatted directly from your Crystal report in Sage 100. I can click the Pay Here button, and the system is going to give me the ability to enter my payment information. The payment methods available are going to be based on what your merchant account is with Paya, as well as what you're allowing that customer to pay with. If a customer, for whatever reason in the past, had many chargebacks and they are not allowed to pay via credit card, we can actually limit the ability for them to do that. And in that case, they would only see ACH available right here. Now, instead of paying from this screen, I'm actually going to back out of this and show you guys the Click2Pay portal. So what you'll notice down here is that we do have the ability to log into a portal associated as the customer. So I'm going to log in as customer Brandy here, and where I'm going to land is a page that gives me a look at my account with the merchant. So I can see a breakdown of what I have unpaid in invoices, sales orders, and quotes, along with my total balance to this particular merchant. At the bottom here, I can see my 5 most recent payments. And if I, for whatever reason, can't find those receipts in my email, as the customer, I can come out here and re-download any of those receipts that I've received from Click2Pay in the past. In addition to that, if I'm reconciling my credit card account and I see a charge for $7.02 that I can't connect to a payable invoice as the customer, I can come out into my portal and actually view that transaction and all of the invoices that I paid with that $7.02 so that I can reconcile that to my invoices in my accounting system, whatever that might be. As the customer, I also have the ability to maintain as many stored payment methods as I choose. That can be ACH or credit card accounts based on what the merchant enables for me. And I can enter as many of these as I need and maintain them as I receive new cards or I need to update information like expiration dates. Now, these cards are stored on Paya servers as tokens, and they are not transferred into the merchant's Sage 100 system automatically until they are used on a payment. So I can have 50 cards out here, but until I use that as a payment, my merchant is not going to get that data into their Sage 100 system. Now, our customer portal has a lot of options, so I'm not going to be able to cover everything today, but I wanted to give you an idea of what a payment looks like when a customer comes out to manage their own accounts. So you'll notice on the left-hand side here, I have the ability to multi-select invoices, and it's going to total that amount selected for me right here. I can choose to begin payment, and it's going to launch that payment screen that we looked at previously. Now, in my case, I can choose ACH or credit card. I also have the ability to use saved cards here. So I can select one of my saved cards. It's going to default in all of my information. We are fully CAPTCHA integrated, so the customer will have to pass a CAPTCHA in order to process their payment. What you saw there was that first initial I am not a robot did not pass, so it went ahead and popped up the secondary CAPTCHA for the picture selection. I now have the ability to submit my payment, and the system's going to communicate with the gateway to ensure that it can process the charge that I have asked it to do. The customer receives a payment successful or payment declined message at this point, and we can see the amount that was paid. As the customer, I will receive a formatted receipt from the merchant. The merchant will also receive a copy of that as well. So as the merchant, you will always have a copy of that receipt in case the customer calls you and is looking for additional information about that. Really quickly, we do have the ability to limit the size of transactions that are allowed to be processed through the portal as well. So on my particular portal, I have limited to credit cards can only be processed on transactions under $5,000. So I have 2 invoices out here. I'm just going to pop out here real quick to the payment page. You can see on the payment page for the $4,999 invoice, we have the ability to select both ACH and credit cards. If I launch that same screen for my $5,000 invoice, we've automatically suppressed that credit card. The customer never even sees that as an option when they come out to pay that particular invoice. And then we talked a little bit about the dynamically discounted codes. You can see here where we are taking those into consideration. We know what the discount cutoff date is for a particular invoice and what the discount available is based on the terms code. So the system is always making sure that it knows exactly what Sage 100 is expecting as far as due dates, discount dates, and those discount amounts so that we can account for that properly. Now, really quickly, I'm going to come back into Sage and show you what happens when those payments are brought in. So we do utilize real-time DLLs. You can see all of the information about payments that have been processed through the portal here in the payment screen. Now, these are waiting for the merchant to decide to create those as cash receipts. We like to give that control to the merchant based on how they want to process their cash receipts going into the Sage 100 system. Some like to do that at end of day. Others like to wait until the funding hits their bank account to go ahead and process that cash receipt. So the merchant has the ability to choose how to do that. Now, when we import those cash receipts, the system's going to make sure that it can create them, as in the invoices have all been updated. And then just like we saw on the CertaPro side, when we look at those cash receipts, here's our $70.25. When we look at those cash receipts, they are being brought in as credit card receipts. We can see those invoices that were paid and the balance of those now being zero. And we can see all of that tokenized credit card information being brought back into the system. So this is where, as the merchant, you would have the ability to save those tokens to the customer's credit card account if they did not already exist here in Sage. We, of course, bring in that authorization information as well as the transaction ID here as well. Click2Pay does also have a premium suite. So we do have a processing fee recovery that can help you calculate and charge fee recoveries for different types of payment methods. The most common would be charging a fee for processing a credit card. However, there are non-online payment methods that can also be subject to a processing fee recovery, such as a $5 or $10 fee for wire transfers. So we do have that available for both Sage 100 and the Click2Pay system. And Click2Pay is also integrated with BCS ProSoft's automated rental management system. So we have Click2Pay integration for cash drawer and contracts modules within the ARMS system. And then finally, just as a quick recap, we are always listening to our merchant base when it comes to Click2Pay. And so it is an ever evolving product. We're currently working on a roadmap that includes credit memo, debit memo, and prepayment integration that would allow customers to apply those particular credits or debits to their invoice payments. Sales order pre-authorization is on the horizon. We already offer sales order pre-authorization through the native processing, but we're bringing that into Click2Pay as well so that it can be initiated by the customer. Notifications on payments and incoming invoices and whatnot are going to be available Q2 and Q3. And Click2Pay statement links are coming for dunning and notifications also in Q2 and Q3. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I am going to pass this off to STARSHIP.
Okay, thank you, Brandy. Again, everyone, appreciate you taking the time to join our webinar. My name is Matt St. John. I'm the Senior Sales Executive here at V Technologies. Of course, today discussing our integration with Sage 100. So Adrian kind of mentioned, but real quick, talk a little bit about V Technologies. As you said, we were founded in 1987. Everything we're doing, I think, is in-house. So things like, most importantly, our support team. It's not like we're outsourcing anything like that. Anyone with issues calls the office. We are located in Connecticut, and you'll get our team, in-house. So we're not outsourcing things also like development or Q&A. With STARSHIP, we are a certified solution for carriers like UPS and FedEx. Actually, last year, as you see, we were named the UPS Ready 2022 Premier Partner, which is a nice award to receive. But really, that being certified, that is things like our shipping labels are already delivered to you certified. UPS and FedEx, of course, have standards, and you have to meet those. So share those pains so you don't have to. We are also part of their subsidy programs, so if anyone's taking advantage of those, any of that free funding you can qualify for, you can use to purchase STARSHIP. We do integrate with a dozen other ERP systems, but as I mentioned today, we'll talk about the integration with Sage 100. And over the 35 years that we've actually been in business, we've had over 10,000 companies that have used STARSHIP to help streamline their day-to-day shipping activity. Right. I'll do a quick demo, but kind of some bullet points I kind of wanted to bring to attention here. So with STARSHIP, we actually have two different versions, a full on-prem version, and then, of course, a full-blown cloud version. What I'm going to show you today, really, regardless of the version, it's always the same look, feel, functionality. Really, the big difference comes down to pricing, where, of course, cloud is more SaaS-based. We have different tiers based on your shipping volume. So as a client, you could pay month to month, or if you wanted to, you could prepay for a year, and we do offer additional discounts for prepaying. The real nice thing with STARSHIP, multi-carrier, multi-mode. So really, as a shipper, I am going to be able to process all my different type of shipments just through STARSHIP. I can do small parcel, LTL, even one-offs. We don't have to have a connection to Sage. So for example, we don't have to pull in a sales order or an invoice record. So if anyone's, hey, an employee wants to send something. So again, you're not limited to just using anything that's already inside Sage. But with the carrier integrations, we actually have over 24 LTL and small parcel carriers. So it's live rate shopping. And again, you'll see this on the demo. But then I think with STARSHIP, we can get into doing things like best way shipping, where if you want STARSHIP to automatically rate shop the shipment and maybe select the least expensive carrier or least amount of delivery days, we can do things like that as well. All right. And then also, I'll show you our dashboard program. So we include some reporting matrix tool, e-notify program, where if you wanted to develop or design your own custom email templates, you can do that. I'll try to show you an example of one of those. But STARSHIP is also going to get into doing things like address validation, where, hey, we'll validate the address as well as the residential commercial flag. So it's going to help save those correction fees that you might be currently being hit with. Okay. So let me just X out of here, if it's going to let me, and we'll jump on my demo machine. All right, so as you see on my machine, this is the STARSHIP program. Again, same look and feel regardless if I'm using the on-prem or the 100% cloud version. As you also see, it does live outside of Sage 100. But again, the nice thing with that is, as a shipper, I could just work and live, breathe, play inside the STARSHIP program. So I don't have to have access to Sage 100. I don't even have to have Sage 100 installed on my shipping workstations. And in saying that, just know it's still a live connection. As in this case, I'm going to pull by a sales order number, but as you see, we have different options. But just know, as we're adding sales orders inside of Sage, STARSHIP's going to be picking those up. Same thing, if we make a revision to existing sales order, STARSHIP's immediately going to be picking that up. So again, live connection, looking at Sage, bringing in Sage data, as well as pushing it back into Sage. So in this case, again, I'll just quickly go through this. We don't have much time, but please feel free to reach out if anyone wants to do a deeper dive or get deeper into the weeds. But real quick, I'm just going to select this one shipment. And as you see, STARSHIP's is bringing in all the information. The way we're communicating with Sage, simple data mapping. So we can point any of the STARSHIP fields to standard Sage 100 fields. We can even use user-defined fields if you'd like. But we really want to set this up so as the shipper, the things I have to click, type, touch, of course, the better. All right, so here's all my information. Here's just an example if anyone out there is doing blind drop shipments. I have my system set up, STARSHIP automatically changing the company name. It knows by looking at a Sage field that it needs to show like it's coming from Tractor Supply Company. Here's my recipient information. Here's my transportation. This is simply just going to use your ship via codes, and those will tell STARSHIP things like carrier service. Here's just another example of streamlining where, hey, this system, STARSHIP already knows this is a third-party type shipment. Automatically changed the billing type, and it's even automatically populated the customer's account number for me. All right, so again, just some quick examples of how we can automate that whole shipping process. Shipment details are our shipping options. Again, these could be triggered from Sage fields. You can default them like I have the e-notification fields. Defaulted to be selected, so I'm just basically telling STARSHIP, yes, I want you to use the carrier email, but in this case, only if there's an exception, and of course, mapping in email addresses from Sage. Okay. But the packaging area, this is really the first spot a shipper will go to, because this is where we're going to be able to see our items. In this case, we are pulling by sales order, and in my system, I have it set up that STARSHIP knows, okay, what was ordered and what's available. So of course, if anything is back ordered, STARSHIP's going to bring them in as back ordered. Also here, I am displaying item descriptions. We could do item codes, item description, really up to you. The system is very customizable, not only what you want to see, but also kind of your different workflows. Right? If I also want to get into the item box detail, it is simple drag and drop where I can grab items, move them around. I can add additional boxes by using this icon. We also have a repeat box function that you can use if it's a large order. But again, the main thing there is that item to box detail is not a requirement. And it's the same thing with this packaging database. If you are using set size boxes, you could have those set up inside STARSHIP. Nice thing with that is STARSHIP would automatically populate the dimensional weights or the dimensions for you. Again, here are my quantities, my weights in my system. I'm mapping them in from Sage, so it's automatically populating them. Of course, we can do data from a scale. Bill weight is carrier's dimensional weight, so STARSHIP will always rate shop and send the carrier the correct dimensional weight. So later on, you're not going to receive that bill. It says, hey, you sent that package out at 16 pounds, dimensionally it was 19, here's the difference. All right. And then, of course, down here real quick is that live rate shopping. So in this scenario, I'm just telling STARSHIP, hey, small parcel, only show me my small parcel carrier services. But as you see, returning all this information live, contract, that's going to be your live negotiated rates with the carrier. Apply charge is usually what we write back into Sage as what we want to charge the customer. Just know apply charges can also include plus or minus any freight rules. So for example, I just have a checkbox. STARSHIP sees it. Hey, this customer gets a 25% discount. Even line item detail. We're shipping this item. It's fragile. Let's add a flat rate of $3. Okay? But really, once we're ready to process the shipment, we can click ship and process. Live environments. This is where STARSHIP is just going to quickly print all the shipping documents. My system, it does PDF everything, and so it does take a second here to pop all the different PDFs. Now, with this order, it was an international shipment, and as you notice, I didn't have to stop and fill out any of the required international information. And that's because STARSHIP does have a database for your inventory items, and we can store all that required information. And also, here's a scenario where I'm having STARSHIP print my international documents. So there's my commercial invoice, my shipbook, my certificate of origin. Again, everything's filled out for me. I don't have to stop and fill out anything. Here's the shipping label, packing list, a lot of different options on how those print out. And then even with these documents, like you see with this packing list, I do have a scenario set up, a template for this special packing list. STARSHIP knows, oh, the shipments for Tractor Supply Company, print this special packing list that shows their logo, their information. Okay? But real quick, as a shipper, we click ship and process. Our documents are generated. STARSHIP takes me back to the main screen. And what I'll do is jump on my Sage machine. Other nice thing with STARSHIP is as soon as your shipper clicks ship and process, it will automatically create the invoice. So an SO invoice data entry. Here's for sales order 222. Things like ship via codes, we can reverse translate those. Same thing with the address if it gets changed due to validation. STARSHIP does actually have a built-in custom write-back feature. Here's my tracking information, dropped directly into the correct Sage tables. I can even, see item to box detail using the Sage shortcuts. And then, of course, on the totals tab, here's my standard Sage freight amount field. But in this scenario, I have these two user-defined fields, and I'm using that built-in custom write-back field to always push back my live contract rate with the carrier. That way, before someone updates these, the invoices, they can actually compare. And like in these scenarios, we can say, oh, yeah, you know what, we shorted ourselves. This should be $100 or whatever it might be. Okay, so very quick, very easy to use STARSHIP, very user-friendly. Literally, a lot of times we kind of call it plug and play integrations. We simply data map information. And then real quick, I'll just show you the dashboard program, which is our reporting tool. Again, this is included with STARSHIP, requires no additional user seats. As you see, we have a bunch of reports, heat maps, canned crystal reports, but I do want to just show you that e-notify program. And I'll show you an example for that shipment we just sent. Here, as you see, I can send now my customers an email with my company information, Sage fields like PO, sales order. Maybe you want to let them know where it's going, number of packages, ETA, even that item to box detail. But hyperlink tracking information, client can click on this, go directly to the carrier's website. And with these, you can create unlimited templates and even assign emailing rules on each of the templates. So for this case here, I have this 20% off thing promo code. you can hyperlink them, get them right back to your website. But point being, set those rules so STARSHIP only sends this template to those certain customers. All right, so again, that was just a quick kind of 30-foot overview of STARSHIP, but please feel free to reach out if you'd like to schedule a discovery and deeper demo call. And with that, I'll give it back to Adrian.
Thank you so much, Matt. Everyone, enjoy the weekend. Take care.